Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to talk about the development happening in the city of Yonkers. Are we becoming the sixth borough, or are we the sixth borough? Join me. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, is Yonkers becoming the sixth borough? Good evening, folks. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Been one heck of a day. Hope you're doing well. Happy, what's today, Wednesday? Happy Wednesday. Folks, today, the governor was in town. I didn't know about that. Fix my shirt here. The governor, Kathy Hochul, was in town today to join the mayor, Mike Spano, along with Andrea Stewart Cousins, Senator Cousins, George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, Paul Adler, the owner of Realty, has been doing a lot of business here in the city of Yonkers, and others to break ground over on Main Street and Warburton Avenue for new affordable housing development. They've been talking about this for a while now, for most of the year. In fact, they started to do some work there. I guess now they're officially breaking ground. It's going to be a 76-unit building with about 24, maybe 26 parking spaces. So it's an affordable, all affordable building on Main Street in Warburton. When it's built, it's going to be 76 units, but it's only going to have 24, maybe 26 parking spaces, which means that people will have to park on the street, causing more of a parking issue. Or they can always use that garage there on Buena Vista if it's not already full. But it's not fair.
We've not got involved with politics or religion.
Yeah, but it's not fair to certain people. The senior homes, they're doing the same thing. They're building them with very limited parking spaces because their reasoning or their rationale is that, certain groups of people, certain groups of individuals don't have cars or may not have, need a car or whatever, right? i.e. old people or people who need affordable housing, right? They can't afford cars. But before I get into that, I want to talk about this right here, folks. Now, this here is a, I'm trying to, this is a picture of a city employee. That's a shot in hand. The passenger here is holding an open bottle in a car, drinking, driving. And, this is unfortunate because we've had issues here in the city of Yonkers with employees and drinking and driving. I mean, you would think that by now, maybe Chris Moran, the guy, the head of human resource, would have held some kind of, I don't know, workshop on not drinking and driving if you're a city employee. I mean, people have been hurt. People have been killed. 16-year-old boy, CJ Hackett, that's been in the paper recently. Stephen Dolan, DPW employee, driving drunk. There was an officer who killed himself. There was the guy who worked for City Hall, what's the name, Hakeem Jamal, who crashed into an elderly gentleman on Central Ave, driving the wrong way after leaving, a little hangout session he was having. People told me a lot of things that were going on. It might have been in his system, but he was never, drug tested. But he managed to keep his job and he elevated in position, making more money. So here you have it. People are still drinking and driving. In fact, I also have photos of DPW guy taking a vehicle to a bar. Then after leaving that bar, I'm sure he had beers. He wasn't there drinking water. He would drive an hour home. Imagine what could have happened in a city vehicle outside of the city of Yonkers, and now here again. So when is it going to end? How many people have to get injured? How many people have to die? How much of city property has to be destroyed and others' property has to be destroyed? This is an individual that's hoping to become elected at some point. What do you think? Is this responsible? Is this okay? Should there be some action taken by the city of Yonkers? Is this an incident or a decision made that should be one where there's termination? Should the city act on it? I mean, what do you folks think? And I just put it out there because I don't want another 16-year-old, God forbid, being killed by a city employee. Hey, I don't even want you, the city employee, getting killed. I'm sure your family would be devastated just as much. So chill out with it because we're watching. But more importantly, we want you and others to be safe. It's unbelievable. Ruth Walters, she's being endorsed by Tom Meyer. Well, I guess she couldn't be endorsed by, I guess Tom Meyer could not endorse James Nolan, the Republican. He is the chairman of the Yonkers Democratic Committee, but he's endorsing Ruth Walter. And I don't know, maybe he has to do this. Maybe he, really wants Ruth Walter to win because I've been feeling and sensing that maybe they want Ruth back. I don't know. Maybe something happened there between them at one point. But James Nolan, I like him a lot. Listen, I support James in this election. James really tries, and I know that some people may not like some of the things that he has received. Maybe they see it as a benefit, this, that, and the third. I like people that try, that really truly have a desire to really make some changes. And again, I believe that he's working within some constraints, some restrictions there, so he can only do so much. And you know how that is, right? And I was talking to my wife about this. I posted some videos on Instagram of a situation on the Sawmill, another police car chase on the Sawmill. And there was a gentleman there by the name of Eli, the People's guy, who has a pretty decent YouTube following, and he was filming. And at one point, he kind of got into one of the officers, but there was a group of officers there, however. And for the most part, the officers did a great job of handling Eli. There were one or two who took the bait and they kind of went back and forth, right? And some people may say that those are the bad cops and that the ones who stay silent, who do a good job of dealing with it without getting, disrespectful, but don't say anything if another cop does are just as bad. I don't believe that. You have to understand, these individuals are working with a certain constraint, especially here in the city of Yonkers. They want to keep their job. Right? They don't want to be, and no disrespect to Anthony DiMaggio, but he understands what I mean. They don't want to be Anthony DiMaggio. So they have to just stay nothing and they have to deal with it because that's their livelihood, right? And so we have to help these people out, and I'm helping them out, and I'm helping you guys out in the city of Yonkers by bringing a lot of this information to light so that way you're not terminated, through retaliatory reasons, or you're not attacked like I was. Your business isn't destroyed like mine was. Okay, so but the information still has to get out. But again, I'm going for James Nolan because, again, I believe he fights for the people. I like the fact that he was against, the changing of zoning laws in single family zones to build buildings right next to your single family home, completely do away with single family zoning. I don't think that's a good idea at all, but that's what they're trying to do. So are we becoming the sixth borough? Here you have it. This is exciting for these guys, right? It's money, 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 opportunity, opportunity. They're not excited because they're building 76 new affordable housing and that people who have been searching for an affordable housing are going to possibly have a chance at one of these apartments. It may not do a dent in the housing crisis, but at least it's something. But that's not why they're happy. No, this is money, money, money. The gentleman to the left there is Paul Adler, I believe, the individual who owns Rand Realty. Rand Realty recently had an office on Central Avenue, no longer there. But Rand Realty has been doing a lot of business in the city of Yonkers. People have been mentioning Rand Realty a lot because of their connection to the Spanos. Nick Spano, the former senator, the brother to Mayor Mike Spano, is a licensed realtor with Rand Realty. And he has been involved in transactions that have been happening here in the city of Yonkers. And that has concerned many people. There goes Ken Jenkins, the next county executive after George Latimer, I hear. And in order for him to get support for that position from the machine, from the powers that be, that will assure he gets the position, he must guarantee, I hear, rumors, just from what I'm hearing, not sure if it's true or not, that he will be guaranteeing certain individuals up to 30 jobs, 30 county jobs. Those are favors. You give someone a job, they give something back. That's as good as money. You see, times have changed. No longer do they give money in white envelopes. No, that can lead to an indictment. That can lead to the FBI having provable facts of you doing illegal activity. So now you get a job. We just hired them. That's all. And these jobs come with huge salaries. And sometimes you don't have to really go to work, but sometimes you do. And so that's what I hear Ken Jenkins is offering and going to give those who help him become the next county executive. 30 county jobs. Who will get those jobs? There goes Mayor Mike Spano, City of Yonkers mayor, as you know. Next to him is Nader Sayegh. This is the in crowd. This is the circle right here. This is the power circle of New York right here, folks. At least of Albany and the Yonkers connection. This is it right here, right? This is the connection. Assemblyman Nader Sayegh. Why they want to put someone in like Frank Jarris, quite possibly Mike Spano Jr. in his seat once he becomes superintendent, Nader Sayegh, is so they can continue to have influence in that assembly seat up at Albany, right? And there she goes, Kathy Hochul, the woman that wants to actually bring quarantine camps to the New York State. This is a fact. Kathy Hochul and Attorney General Letitia James are appealing a decision by the Supreme Court here in New York State to not have quarantine camps. They want to bring quarantine camps to New York. Go research that. So if you have COVID, if you have any kind of disease or infection, they can quarantine you like China. This is a fact. So we have to get rid of her. I've always said she was evil from day one. There goes Senator Stewart Cousins right next to Kathy Hochul. I believe these individuals may be from Macqueston, the contracting company that's going to be doing the job here. They're also doing some stuff over at Ludlow Park. This black gentleman, I believe, is the guy that they hired to get grants for having a black person in your company. I'm just totally kidding. I don't know, but that could be the case. They do that with women too. Bring her in. It was a woman-owned company. Let's get grants. All right, special 20. We got to get 20% of the all contracts because we got a black guy that's a 0.5% partner. So they're breaking ground here in this affordable housing. It's been talked about for a while. It's not like the other developments, the luxury ones that go up in 1, 2, 3. When it comes to affordable, it takes time. People want to pose for pictures. But Kathy Hochul and Senator Cousins, that concerns me, right? Corazon Pineda Isaac, I don't know if she borrowed or she hired the campaign manager, the campaign consultant, a gentleman by the name of John Tomlin, who is the head of campaign stuff for Andrea Stewart Cousins. And I expected so much more from her campaign, but it was a bad campaign. And I think John could do a lot better. I mean, he works for Andrea Stewart Cousins, right? And so that got me to really thinking that it was all a fraud. It was a sham. It was a sham. I can believe that Corazon would bite the hand that's been feeding her and her mom for several years now, 6 or more years now. That's suicide to go against the Spanos. Her mom works for the Yonkers Public School. I hear from sources does not have a degree, but works over at Riverside as a foreign language teacher or substitute, a permanent substitute, making over $100,000 a year. And so she's not going to risk that, knowing that she probably is not going to win. And so when I see Andrea Stewart Cousins there in this circle, they're all part of the same club. They're all part of the same club. It would have been nice if they could have came and took a tour of the schools. Andrea Stewart Cousins, Mayor Spano, we're constantly blaming Albany for the lack of funding that our schools. Well, here's an opportunity to say, hey, Kathy, hey, Senator Cousins, you're the majority leader up in Albany. Hey, Nader Sayegh, you want to be or you will become the next superintendent. They will appoint you as a political favor. Can you at least come and take a look at the Yonkers Public Schools? The buildings are falling apart. We need the money. We need more money. Here's an opportunity. She's been down here a couple of times now. And I think Senator Cousins, being the majority leader, representing Yonkers, being that many of the Yonkers public school children are black, would want to see Kathy Hochul more interested in our school district. There's a huge need. So maybe next time she's down here, guys, can you take her for a tour of the buildings that are over 100 years old? The ones that have mold, asbestos, that are falling apart. As Shanae Williams said, the roofs are falling down. That would have been great. Here's an opportunity. But instead, they spend their time with these developers who are making big money here, bringing affordable housing to the city of Yonkers. How affordable are they going to be? Right? Yonkers is becoming less affordable. $1 million homes now in Yonkers southwest side. How is that? So here you go, another picture of Kathy Hochul speaking with Andrea Stewart Cousins, the Senate Majority Leader, Mike Spano in the background there on Main Street at the corner of Main and Warburton, with developer Rella Fagliano, CEO of Macqueston Development, said the project is an example how public and private partnerships serve to strengthen the fabric of a community. And how is that? Can you please give me some details and not some fancy words? There's a lot of development here that are market rate. We do need more affordable housing, she said. The fabric of a community is to have affordability. Well, then why didn't you build an affordable housing development that had 230 apartments like all the luxury ones, or maybe 900 like the AMS Teutonia that's going to be built on Buena Vista? Why is it that all the affordable housing barely have 80 units? 76 is probably one of the biggest ones we've seen so far. And Mofford Garden, when it got torn down, only came back with 100 or so apartments, not the 500 that it once had. So why is that the case? If that is the fabric of the community, people are having trouble finding affordable housing here. Many people are leaving the city of Yonkers, but I believe that there is an agenda to gradually get people to leave. If you can't afford it, we don't want you here. That is the attitude. It's truly changing. We are becoming the city. Look at the congestion, the traffic. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. The loud music in the neighborhood. Since when did we become a party town? I see cars now all the time bumping this music. If it's not the scooters, it's the double and triple parked cars, the city cabs and all the Ubers and Lyfts now. It's getting crazy, folks. Macqueston Development, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're doing that development. They're also doing a lot of stuff over in Ludlow. And maybe that was a deal. Hey, can you build something affordable? Because we need to at least add some affordable housing. We're doing all this beautiful luxury development by the waterfront. They're doing something over there in Ludlow with Ginsburg, I believe, near Fernbrook and Ludlow. Forgot the other street's name is there, Downing Street. And how much? Look at that big building on that corner. Geez, that area is going to be just crazy. It is truly going to be a mini Manhattan. But unlike Manhattan, we don't have enough road space. At least Manhattan has a lot of streets, and they are going in one direction for the most part, either north to south or east to west, not all curvy and hilly like our streets. It's just crazy. How much did Macqueston pay to be able to do development here in the city of Yonkers? They pay quite a penny. And this is why our elected officials do not work for us, folks. They don't represent us. They represent the developers who fund them. A lot of money. Here's Macqueston, the mayor, Mike Cater also, John Rubo, Tasha Diaz, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, the city council president who alone introduced the legislation to create the opportunity for the mayor to run for a fourth term. That solidified the developers' stronghold on the city of Yonkers. Thanks to Lakeisha. I don't know if she's making any money with her, Collins Realty Group here. Real estate principal office. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Is that why she introduced the legislation so that the developers could rock and roll? Some more? Shanae, Lakeisha, Tasha, John. Why do you think these individuals here don't push harder for affordable housing, a new affordable housing ordinance? Well, Mike Cater was pushing hard. You saw what happened to him. Shanae Williams was pushing, but she quieted down, and now they're moving her to the county. She's no longer a factor. But we still have John Rubo, the head or the chair of the real estate committee, getting all this money, $500. That's all they give you, John? Or do they give it to you through A Perfect Solution, John Rubo Inc. Is that how they truly pay the contributions, John? Is that how they do it? Is that how they do it? If I was an investigator, that's what I would definitely look into. Let's take a look at the financials for A Perfect Solution, John Rubo Inc., his credit card processing company. Did you know that? Did you know that? Tasha Diaz got $1,000. And of course, they kept it low for Lakeisha because she's the one that's going to introduce the legislation to extend the term limits. More Mike Spano here. Wow, 1,000, 2,500, 500, 2,500, 1,000, 500, 2,500. So you see why they don't represent us. And then she did it, the owner did it under her name, 5,000, 25, another $7,500 here for Mayor Mike Spano. So do you understand why they do not represent the people? They don't care about the people. The people don't pay them any money. They don't contribute to their campaigns. They're not the ones giving their husbands jobs. Right, Lakeisha? We hear that your husband's going to be taking the agility test very soon. Well, I wish him the best of luck. I'm sure he'll make a great YPD officer, right? But I mean, it's not like he didn't, have a great job before. It's not like it was a trivial job, like some job at a supermarket or something, right? I mean, those little peasant jobs, right? How dare you even insinuate that? Huh. But that's what's happening to her husband. So congratulations. She will also become a judge at some point. Not right now. Not right now. She still has to finish things out, but she will. And that is the payment for introducing the fourth term extension. Make no mistake about it, folks. That is what it's all about. That is why she did it. That and that alone. And I know she wants to tell a story about God, but God wouldn't push people out of their communities. God would not separate families. God would not cause the cost of living to go up because the rich people want the housing of the poor. So I don't think God had anything to do with that decision, at least not my God. Money, the money God, maybe, but that's not my God. Matter of fact, he's not God. That's the devil. Money is the root of all evil. So that's why, folks, we'll never see it. And look, this is, to me, insulting. Miriam, neighbor, you might think it's funny, right? But it just shows the attitudes of certain individuals, the snobbish, the elitist attitudes. They don't care. You're a peasant. They look down upon you. They laugh. While these people make all this money, they are laughing all the way to the bank, not caring that most of the students in the Yonkers public schools are living at or below the poverty line. Their parents or one parent alone is not making over $220,000 as a public school employee. It's a lot of money. And they laugh. They think it's a joke. Ha ha ha. These are people who are already wealthy. Their husbands may have successful businesses and other investments. They own buildings like Maui, and selling subs is just a hobby for him, right? They flaunt their money and then they laugh at you if you don't have money, or they believe you to not have money, right? And they make fun of people who rent, as if renting is, you're a peasant, right? You're a peasant if you're a renter. That's what they want to do. Maui, is that how you feel about people? Is that how you feel about the people who rent out in your buildings? Are they peasants, not worthy because they don't own buildings like you, right? You're you guys the only ones. And so that should show you their attitude in what he was saying this earlier today in his little comments that he was making when I went live. This is a man who owns businesses here in Yonkers, partnered up with city employees whose family is working within the city of Yonkers. They get all the advantages, all the benefits. They get their permits passed along quickly. They get all the favors, all the hookups, and they continue to get rich and then flaunt it and laugh at those who they believe are not as worthy or as wealthy as they are. And they'll look down on you, and they don't care what happens to you. They don't care if you lose your job. They don't care if your business gets destroyed. It's all fun to them. They feel superior because inside they are inferior. They think money and material things truly matter, and that makes people. It doesn't. And I learned that a long time ago, Maui. Maybe you'll learn that soon because now you're making some money. Enjoy it, but don't let it make you. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. It's time for change. Yonkers is the most corrupt city here in the state of New York, in my belief. Shout out to the lady, to the woman who said again, I'm doing a good job. And I just love to hear that. So thank you very much. You know, she's told me once before, ma'am, I appreciate you. And you know, you can help out by spreading the word. Let people know about this. Let people know about the corruption. Let people know how we can make a change. We must come together. I'm sure you say I'm doing a good job because you completely agree with a lot of the things I'm saying, particularly about the changes that are happening here in the city of Yonkers, the changes that are destroying Yonkers and not beautifying Yonkers, not making it better for those who have lived here all our lives or for most of our lives, those who have roots here and who want to continue living here. But that's becoming harder and harder to do. I'm Freddie Vasquez. I appreciate you. If you want, you can tell all your friends to write my name in November. My name is Alfredo Vasquez. They call me Freddie. Those of, you know, who know me, my friends, you all, my friends, my supporters. But Alfredo Vasquez, that's right, Zahi, that's right, Rue Rose, because they all put my full name as if I was going to be upset about it or embarrassed. I don't really care. Just people call me Freddie. Some people call me Al. You can call me Alfredo Vasquez when it's election night. Write my name in if you want. It's time for change. You want someone that's really going to care about the city and make some real change? I don't care about the money. Maui, I don't care about money. See, that's a freedom. That's free. True freedom. Jesus didn't care about money either, Maui. Everyone must come out and vote in November for general election. That's right. But best believe, Maui, I'm always going to be good, homie. So that doesn't hurt me. So try something else. You know, try being kind, Maui. Don't stalk people at their homes, okay, and then deny it. And I got proof, multiple pieces of evidence that you were there, that it was you stalking me, all right, Maui? So, you know, one thing money can't buy is intelligence. You know what I mean, Maui? You can't implant that. Maybe soon, though. Don't count Kozak out. Let's see, Kozak. Kozak, I got something for you. I'm going to send it over to you. If you want to use that in your campaign, you can use it in your campaign. It's time to smash these folks. It's time to vote out. And remember, don't kiss ass. Let's kick ass. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Basement Politics is always all about the money. It's all about the bank. Can you hear my pet cricket? I got a resident cricket that lives here in the basement. I don't kick him. I think he has a family. I seen the little one. I don't know. Maybe he's the same one. He got bigger, but he's in the background there. He reminds me of some of these folks when the truth is presented to them. It's crickets. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. I'm here hanging out with Cricky, my pet cricket. I'm serious about that. I got a pet cricket. My wife and I refuse to kill him, get rid of him. We just let him rock out he's in the driveway, and he comes into the basement area. He's like my pet cricket, you know. I'm a kind human. It's the evil people that make me get aggressive, you know? Evil.